what's happening in the Premier League? What is actually happening? Liverpool nil, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. Yes, you heard me correct. Liverpool nil, Brighton 1. Just 2 weeks after Liverpool lost 1-0 at home to Burnley, another, of course, bottom six side in the Premier League this season. And Liverpool now, after going, what was it, something like 60-something games unbeaten at home over the space of 4 years, have now lost 2 home games in a row. Firstly to Burnley, and secondly to Brighton, which I just can't calculate, but we're going to get into analysing this game because it was absolutely just mental for the entirety of it. Not in terms of the fact that, there was that much that happened, but just because of the result itself. I actually cannot believe how broken this Premier League season actually is. I think that's the only word I could describe it. And this match week, in its total, has just been absolutely mental. We saw at Man U last night a lot of controversy with VAR in terms of, Wolves obviously winning 2-1 in controversial fashion, 2 red cards for Arsenal in that game. United, of course, beating 9 men Southampton by 9 goals last night, and this just has been an absolutely unbelievable few days for football in terms of the excitement of the Premier League, just the absolute randomness, and tonight was no different. I think tonight is really the icing on the cake, and even still, we have the biggest game of the game week tomorrow night, Tottenham versus my club Chelsea, but honestly, this Premier League season has been absolutely beyond anything I can describe because honestly, it's been ridiculously unbelievable. I don't think we'll ever have a weirder Premier League season. Now, obviously, as I keep saying, the fact that there's no fans in the ground obviously does play a massive factor in this absolute madness of results. But yeah, I mean, it's just been absolutely incredible. Also, Jesse Lingard scoring 2 goals on his debut for West Ham tonight as well, which is just, honestly, I just can't get to grip how much this season has been random as hell. And the surprising thing is, this is definitely not the most surprising result we're going to see this season, and that is definitely saying something, because by God have we seen some absolutely random results this season. But yeah, I think that's enough of me, blabbing on about how mental this season has been, and I'm actually going to try and talk about this game in its entirety now because, yeah, Liverpool, once again, just void of ideas, void of overall creativity going forward. I mean, Brighton, I have to give them credit, they defended like absolute heroes today. They defended absolutely incredibly for the full 90 minutes. Steve Niles at his goal in the second half, getting Brighton those 3 points, which is absolutely huge. I think this is probably Brighton's biggest ever win in the Premier League. I'd go as far as to say that because this is a game, first of all, they probably, I don't think anybody expected them to go to Anfield and get a point, let alone 3. And to be honest, I did predict that Liverpool would win this game 3-0 in my Premier League Game Week predictions video if you want to go and check that out. And to be fair, I've done alright in these Game Week predictions this week, but I certainly haven't covered myself in any glory in this one because I did think Liverpool would win this relatively comfortably. And of course, Brighton did go to Anfield and picked up 3 points. Now, I know Brighton have been on decent form themselves, but Liverpool, we all said they were back. They beat Tottenham 3-1 away from home. They beat West Ham 3-1 away from home. 2 very good, resilient performances. They looked like they were back to their best, both defensively and offensively. They signed Ben Davis and Ozan Kabak to sort out their defensive problems somewhat. And I just don't know how they've been overturned by Brighton tonight. They really, again, as I said, looked void of ideas, looked void of creativity, and I just can't really explain how bad they've been attack-wise this season, especially in recent weeks, I have to say. And I do personally think that the fact that, they have the injuries of the likes of Virgil van Dijk, Joe Gomez, Alisson, who was injured tonight, Joel Matip's gone till the end of the season, they have got a lot of injuries. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to take anything away from Liverpool, in terms of those injuries. I'm not going to act like it's oblivious to the fact that they have got a lot of injuries this season, a lot of major injuries as well. I do think that is kind of a factor in, of course, Liverpool's blank up top, because I do in fact think that part of the reason why Liverpool attackers are so void of confidence at this moment in time is because of the fact that they're not confident in that defence without the likes of Van Dijk, Gomez, Matip, and especially with Alisson, who was missing tonight as well. And even though I think Caoimhin Kelleher had a very good game in between the sticks for Liverpool, nothing really he could do about the Brighton goal. I think that obviously Alisson is a goalkeeper. He's world class. He fills his defenders and the rest of his team with lots of confidence. And I think that those 4 players that I did mention in Van Dijk, Gomez, Matip, and Alisson, they're massive misses, no matter how good you can be defensively or offensively. But yeah, as I said, Brighton just defended like absolute monsters. I mean, Lewis Dunk, what a performance from him. Ben White, Adam Webster, even Dan Burns, Solly March, who came off injured. Yves Bissouma once again proving his worth, and I really do think that a top 6 club will be doing absolute wonders to snap Bissouma up in the summer. He's an absolute engine in midfield, very calm on the ball, very good at reading the game, very strong in the tackle. I think he's just the ultimate box-to-box midfielder. And Trossard, Gross, Mopai, everyone put in their shift tonight. Robert Sanchez in goal was immense as well. I just think Brighton, they deserve a lot of credit because that's now them unbeaten in their last 4 games. They've won 3 of them, I think. And they've really steered themselves away from any relegation danger. I'm going to actually look at the table right now because I firmly believe that result is so significant in the relegation battle. I do firmly believe it confirms Sheffield United's relegation. I believe it confirms West Brom's relegation. I think that even though Sheffield United have picked up a few wins here and there in recent weeks, I think it's too big big of a mountain to climb for them now. All they can really bank on now is that Burnley stop hitting form and Newcastle get sucked back into that relegation battle. And yeah, I do think as well, and this is massive, I do think that Fulham could potentially be put paid to their season in terms of relegation this season as well, because I think that's how massive this result and these last few results have been for Brighton, because you have to remember they were right in there in the relegation battle, and now they're what, like 10 points clear of Fulham, which is just absolutely incredible. And I know Fulham have a game in hand, but even still, I'm pretty sure Brighton would much rather, or Fulham would much rather have the points than the game in hand at this moment in time, and Brighton have done exceptionally well to get themselves out of that position in recent weeks. And yeah, we do have to go into a bit of detail on Liverpool's record against the bottom 6 teams, because I'll actually read it out right now for you. Brighton, of course, they lost tonight. They drew with Brighton earlier on in the season at the Amex just before Christmas. Of course, just around Christmas as well, they drew with Newcastle at St James's Park, lost to Burnley at home, drew with Fulham away, drew with West Brom away, and only marginally beat Sheffield United at home earlier in the season when Sheffield United were just void of any confidence, void of literally any quality whatsoever. So their only win against any of the bottom 6 sides this season was at home to Sheffield United in that 2-1 win, and that is just, it's an absolutely, it's extremely bad record, let's be honest, and that makes this game on Sunday against Manchester City absolutely huge, because the pressure now is well and truly on Liverpool to take that game to Manchester City. It's at Anfield. City high on confidence, 9 wins on the bounce now in the Premier League, the complete opposite to Liverpool in terms of form. And if City do win that game, let me just check, City are currently on 47 points with a game in hand over Liverpool, remember. Liverpool currently on 40 points, so if Liverpool were to lose that game to City, they would be 10 points behind City, with City having a game in hand. That is absolutely huge, and to be honest, at this stage, I do think we could see City, run away from the pack. I do think we could see City kind of walking, if not running away with the league at this moment in time, especially with the form they've been on, especially with the fact they have Kevin De Bruyne coming back in a few weeks and don't even seem to miss him going forward, with the players like Gundogan, Sterling, Bernardo Silva, even Foden, Mahrez, those type of players stepping up in his absence. And of course the fact that City look absolutely rock solid at the back and have the most clean sheets in the league by a country mile. So I do think we could see City walking away with the league in the next few weeks, if not months. And yeah, I do just think that Liverpool, they just look broken. I think that's one of the main words I could use to describe them, because yes, they did get very good wins and very impressive performances in my opinion over Spurs and West Ham away from home respectively, but we saw in that run, around Christmas time, around New Year's, where they just looked void of any ideas, as I said, and void of any creativity going forward. They just looked flat at times, looked like they couldn't break down defences, and to be honest, once Brighton went 1-0 up tonight, I just did think that, the only way that Liverpool could actually get back into the game is if Jordan Henderson could, drag them back up to, level terms with Brighton. But other than that, I think that once Brighton did go 1-0 up, it did feel like one of those games where Liverpool were just going to sink and we're just going to end up losing this game, and Brighton were going to hold out for 3 points, a massive 3 points at that as well. And yeah, as I said, that makes that game on Sunday absolutely huge now. Liverpool versus Manchester City at Anfield, a real, I wouldn't even say title showdown, because you have to admit at this moment in time, Manchester United and Leicester City as well, who did of course beat Fulham today, and United put 9 past Southampton last night, a very good Southampton team as well. Even with 9 men, they were, a very good team. They were top last month, so for United to go there and, put 9 past them was ridiculous. I would say United and Leicester are definitely at this moment in time, I mean, they're obviously ahead of Liverpool on points at this moment in time, but Liverpool, they just look shattered. They really do, and I think they're losing hope slowly but surely on, retaining the Premier League title that they did win last season relatively comfortably, very, very comfortably. But yeah, I think that as we're going to end this video, Manchester City, I think the main thing we can take from this is that they are 110% now the title favourites. I would be very, very surprised if they didn't win it relatively comfortably now by between 5 to 8 points, I would say. Liverpool just look absolutely broken and they just look shattered physically, and yeah, I think it's another one of those results this season, we've seen plenty of them, where it's just, you can't really explain how just mental and random it really is. But yeah, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like. 20 likes as per usual would be massively appreciated by myself. Also make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new, because we are looking to hit 1,400 subscribers as soon as we possibly can. Also make sure to check out that video I did on Burnley's 2-0 defeat to Manchester City at Turf Moor earlier on, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Liverpool stumble yet again. That is now 2 home defeats on the bounce after 4 years unbeaten at Anfield. Just absolutely mental, and yeah, see ya.